Hi guys, and welcome back to Simply Forex, the channel dedicated to you, the trader. We want you to be successful in the markets. So guys, I'm going to give you some gold every day. I'm going to let you know which currency pairs I'm looking to trade and which direction. And I'm also going to let you know which news that you must be aware of. So let's take a look at the chart and what I'm potentially going to trade today.
Good morning, traders. How are we? I hope you are well. I hope you followed a couple of the trade ideas yesterday, guys. We had a profitable day, especially on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. We've got a new camera, so you can probably see me more clearly. This is probably a bad thing. Yeah, we do this in the morning. So we've got a new camera, just to let you know. And also, guys, as usual, we're going to look back at yesterday's trades from which we were profitable. We're going to look at today's potential trades, and we're also going to look at the important news as well. And we're also going to, answer as many questions that you have, guys. So come on, ask as many questions as you like. Leave it in the comments below the vid, and I will answer all of your questions. Yeah, we will leave no question unturned. Get all your questions, guys. Get your thinking caps on. Ask as many questions as you like, guys. Maybe there's a couple of pairs that you're in and you want some advice on as well. So yeah, anything to do with trading, ask away. You need to know what today is. Today is a Wednesday, and it's Wednesday, the 5th of October. And what we're going to do, guys, we're going to first of all, we're going to actually, sorry guys, slight technical things. I've just got to look at some of these questions. Yes, good morning, Tony, Eric, Kev, Jay Lee. Welcome. Morning, everyone. Guys, a couple of things before we get started. We do this live stream every Wednesday. You probably know that, hence you're here. But for new viewers, we do this every Wednesday, 6:30 London GMT. We do a live stream where we look at all of your questions and look at the trades for today as well. Also, guys, we've got a Discord channel now. So our Discord channel keeps growing and growing and growing. So we've got a lot of knowledgeable traders on there sharing ideas. So why don't you come and join the Discord channel? The link is in the comments below the vid. All right, so come join the Discord channel. Also, guys, if you would like to be mentored, we're offering a mentorship program now as part of Simply Forex. You'll be mentored by myself. So if you are interested in that, then please email us at hellosimplyforex@gmail.com. Okay, so that is all the shout outs. We're going to get started. I'm going to have some of my usual morning vodka. This is my morning fuel. Okay, so all right, guys, so we've got a question straight away. Aussie dollar, US dollar. Eric, I like the fact that you don't mess around. You just come in with questions. Well, funnily enough, we are going to look at Aussie dollar, US dollar now, guys. All right, so we're going to, first of all, as always, we're going to look back at yesterday's trade ideas. So let's start there, because the first one is the Aussie dollar, US dollar. So yesterday, guys, we had 4 potential trade ideas. The first one was this. Yeah, this is yesterday's trade. So this was Aussie dollar against the US dollar. All right, guys. And our trade idea was this. So it's an against trend trade. All right. So our trade idea was this. The price was clearly in a downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And then basically, guys, what we've got is this box of indecision. I know I keep talking about this box of indecision, but it's true. There's a box here of indecision. Yeah, we've got a bullish candle, a negative candle, a bullish candle, a negative candle. Yeah, price doesn't know what to do with itself in this box. For me to really start trading this pair, guys, I need a break. Yeah, I need a break out of this box. Okay, and then we could take price up. All right, or potentially a breakdown of this box. But I don't see a breakdown happening. It's so oversold. I could be wrong, but regardless, I need a break of this box, either to the upside or to the downside, before we can really start trading this pair. Okay, so the idea yesterday was this. So we had our box, but we also had this very bullish candle, okay, coming off of these lows. So it told me buyers had taken control of the market again, all right? And all I wanted was a break of this gray zone, a test, and then we could take price higher. Okay, so that was the trade idea on the day chart. Remember, the day chart is your why. Why am I longing? Why am I shorting? Or why am I staying the hell out of the market? They're the only three things you need to ask yourself when you're looking at the day chart. Okay, so we were looking to long it. If we drop down to the H1 chart, okay, so we did have a break. Yeah, so as you can see, we've got our gray zone. If you remember, we had the Royal Bank of Australia interest rate decision, yeah, and it was worse than expected. So after that news, price came shooting down, but rather surprisingly, came shooting up. All right. So if it's worse than expected on interest rate decision, you would expect the Aussie dollar to weaken, but it didn't. Okay. So we did get our break on the H1. So you can see this candle here, guys. Yeah, this broke our gray zone. So as soon as we get this break, we are then looking for the next candle to tell us buyers are in control. All right, at this gray zone. And to be honest with you guys, we just don't get that reaction. We get the break with this green candle, but then as price comes back down, we don't get a reaction at this gray zone. Instead, we get nothing but negative candles close back into this zone. All right, guys, so this made me reluctant to trade this pair. So I didn't trade this pair yesterday because of that. If we also look at the H4 chart, guys, it wasn't a break. Yeah, so that candle is represented with this here, with this wick. So on the H4 candle, guys, this gray zone wasn't broken. All right, so for me, there was no trade with Aussie dollar, US dollar yesterday, okay? Because it closed back into this gray zone. What some of you were asking me on the Discord channel, guys, some of you were asking me about this trade. So for me, I didn't have a trade. Price closed back into this gray zone. And for me, that the trade was over. This gray zone is holding, all right? But then once it come back down to this low, guys, I know some of the usual traders we have on Discord, they were looking for buys at this last H1 high, okay? And guys, you know, if you ask me, can I trade it? The answer is yes, you can, yeah? Because we have this candle that formed, yeah, at these lows, okay, a very bullish reaction. This is what we're looking for. And then price, sure enough, comes back up to this gray zone, okay? But what you can't expect is price to break this gray zone, yeah? Your target should be this gray zone, okay? Because the gray zone has held. There's still lots of resistance at this gray zone. But if you had entered on this candle here, guys, yeah, you would have got just about risk to reward 1:1. Entered there, put your stop here, exited the trade here. Yeah, you still would have got just about a risk to reward of 1:1, guys. All right. So, yeah, you could have traded this candle. But for me, I stayed out because price closed back into this gray zone. So no trade for me. So, yeah. So that was Aussie dollar, US dollar yesterday. If you ask me, so Eric, to answer your question about the Aussie dollar, US dollar, nothing's changed. I still need their price. This level is holding. All right. So a couple of things. If price breaks this level, yeah, I expect price to carry on down at least to this 6,400 level here. Or, yeah, we get our original trade idea. We get a break of this gray zone, we get a retest, and then we can start taking price higher. Okay, guys, so yeah, you could potentially look for shorts here. And then once this gray zone is broken, we're looking for longs here. Okay, guys, so that's how I would trade Aussie dollar, US dollar today. So yeah, let's see if this grey zone still holds. Yeah, there seems to be, it keeps testing this grey zone. So we'll see if it holds. Okay, so that was the first trade from yesterday, guys. Let's take a quick look at the New Zealand US dollar. So this was an identical trade, guys, to the Aussie dollar US dollar. So price was clearly in a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And then we've got this box of indecision. Okay, let me zoom in, guys, to make that a little bit more clear. Yeah, we've got this box of indecision. Yeah, like we did have on the Aussie dollar, US dollar. And for me, guys, again, we just needed a break of this grey zone, a retest, and then a push back up. All right, guys, so that was the idea. But as you can see, our grey zone didn't quite break. But let's go down to the H1 chart to see exactly what did happen. Okay. So yesterday, guys, remember this hasn't happened yesterday. This is all today's price movement, okay? But today, guys, yeah, it just about held onto this grey zone, yeah, and come back down, okay? So the grey zone wasn't broken yesterday, guys, yeah? So again, until this grey zone is properly broken, retested and goes back up, then again, I'm not interested in this pair. Okay, so yeah, we didn't get a break in the grey zone, so no trade. If we look at the H4, guys, it's literally just closed back inside this grey zone as well. So this grey zone is still holding, all right, as you can see with this large wick. So this is the H4 chart, guys. Yeah, we still need a break of this grey resistance level to start buying this pair. We need a break, we need a retest, and then we move back up. But again, guys, New Zealand US dollar yesterday, no trade. Okay. Before we get to our very juicy trades that we had yesterday, our profitable trades that we had yesterday, I will show you those. Let's take a question, guys. Actually, let's take a sip of vodka. Okay, so we've done Aussie dollar, US dollar, tomato trading journey. What an unusual name. I love it. Euro US dollar is very near to an interesting daily 50 MA now. All right, let's have a quick look at Euro US dollar then, guys. Obviously a very popular pair to trade. Okay, hence the tiny spread we have. So guys, yeah, like I say, I don't use any indicators. If you use moving average, the only moving average I have is the 20, okay, because this acts as the mean for me, okay. But if you tell me it's hitting a 50 moving average, I believe you. But I'm going to give you my analysis of the market without using the 50 MA. So let's start with the weekly chart, guys. Let's do a top-down approach and properly analyze this pair. So Euro US dollar is clearly in a downtrend. Let's see if we've got it. And the problem with this low is, yeah, this low here, there's nothing to hedge it against. There's no historic support. Yeah, this is 2011. Okay, there's nothing. Okay, it's never been so weak. So, oh, sorry guys, pushing far too many buttons there at the same time. So it's clearly in a downtrend. All right, the weekly chart is clearly in a downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Okay, so it's clearly in a downtrend. All right, but this area here is an area of resistance for this pair. Okay, so I'm going to add this grey zone in. All right, this is how we do our top-down approach, guys. We look at the weekly chart, downtrend, this grey zone is of interest. Then we're going to go to the day chart, guys. Okay. I would slightly adjust my gray zone just to include this. Okay. So we're looking, it includes these last lows here, this lows here, and also this last swing high here. Okay. This last swing high. So this gray zone is an area where price could react. All right. So would I buy into this zone? Probably not. But we also have to bear in mind, guys, what are the candles telling you? Yeah, you have to bear that in mind. And this candle is super bearish, bullish, sorry, super bullish. Yeah, it's super bullish, but it's hitting into this area of resistance. Okay, so I can't really buy this pair because of the resistance, and I wouldn't like to short it because of this very bullish green candle. Okay, but if you torture me and force me to make a trade, we will look at the lower time frames. Let's look at the lower time frames before I make a decision. Okay, so yeah, so we're in our grey zone. It's very overbought on the H4. All right, so it's very overbought. I wouldn't keep buying it. Yeah, I wouldn't keep buying it into this area here. Yeah, I just wouldn't keep buying it into that area. Okay, so buys for me are off the table. Yeah, let's look at the H1 chart. Okay, so what I would like to see, guys, is this. Yeah, I think you have room to move into down to this area here. Okay, if I show you this, let's put this in. So on the H4 chart, if I show you this grey zone here, okay, we have room to move into down to here. But what I would need to see, guys, is a break in H1 structure in order to start shorting this pair. And for me, there isn't a break in structure. Okay, so what I would like to see is price come back up to this last high, yeah, test it, come back down. So this is now the last H1 low. And when this is broken, we get a retest and then we can come down. That's what I would like to see on the euro US dollar to start shorting this pair. Guys, a very important thing here, guys. If you are with H1 structure, if you have decided your day trend and you are with H1 structure, these trades are normally very rewarding, very profitable. Being with H1 structure, being an intraday trader, not a swing trader, is quite important to me. I like to be with H1 structure. Okay, so that's why I want price action to do this. Okay, test the high, this becomes the low, break the low, retest the low, comes back down. Okay, so if you pulled my fingernails out and said, Tom, you have to trade it, this is how I would trade euro US dollar. I would be shorting it if I get this price action. So I hope that answers your question, Tomato Trading Journey. Love the name. Let's book Abraham. Okay, we'll have a look at pound in a minute. Yeah, I was previously showing how the main yeah, okay, but yeah, we can do some grey zones together as well, guys, and we'll look at pound in a minute. But what I'd like to do, guys, is just finish showing you the trades from yesterday. All right, because the last two trades were the best trades, so let's show you them. So these were the two trade ideas from yesterday, guys. So yesterday was Tuesday, and US dollar, Canadian dollar was one of our trade ideas. So yeah, this was an against trend trade. So price was clearly in an uptrend. All right, clearly. Yeah, you don't have to be Warren Buffett to know that is an uptrend. But then we had this box of indecision. Yeah, we've been seeing these boxes of indecisions a lot on a lot of the US dollar pairs. because price is so overbought or oversold, then sellers are trying to bring it back down, and then you just get this indecision. Yeah, you've got buyers, sellers, buyers, sellers. Yeah, there's a lot of indecision here. Okay, but then yesterday, guys, we got this. We got the break out of our box of indecision. So I will be shorting this pair today. Okay, but this was yesterday's trade. So this candle hadn't formed yet. All right, so pretend that candle isn't there. Okay, so we were looking for a break of this gray zone. All right, we were looking for price to come out of this box. Yeah, just come out of this box, retest the gray zone, and then come back down. Okay, so let's look on the H1, guys, to see what actually happened and if we could get in on this pair. And for me, we could. All right, so yeah, by the time I'm looking at trade, so this was our gray zone. This is this box of indecision I'm talking about, but you can now see it on the H1 chart. All right, this was the box of indecision, and this was our gray zone down here that we wanted to have broken. Okay, and then very early on, yeah, before I even start looking at the market, I start looking at the market around here. Okay, around here. All right, so price had already broken out of our gray zone on the H1 chart. But then if we look on the H4 chart, guys, it didn't break. Yeah, this H4 candle closed back inside our gray zone. All right. So mixed messages there, guys. We had a H1 break, but then we didn't on the H4. All right. But if we carry on, guys, like I say, price broke down. And then when price come back up, if price had broken this last H1 high, yeah, if price had broken this last H1 high, I would not be interested in this trade. Yeah, like I said to you before, H1 structure is very important to me. It's as important to me as my dog. Okay, that important. So H1 structure for me was still intact. We got a break, we got a retest of the last H1 high, okay, and that held, and then price comes shooting back down. Okay, if I zoom in, yeah, I got in on this candle here. Okay, so price had come back. This last H1 high here had held. I love it when H1 structure holds. I then entered on this candle here. I entered on the close because it was a very aggressive bearish candle. I have to put my stop above the last swing high. Okay. Obviously, guys, my first target was not the last H1 low. This is usually my first target, but it can't be because of risk to reward. I can't have this as my reward. Yeah, and this as my risk. Yeah, that, my friend, does not make sense in the slightest. So what I did, guys, I just carried 100% of the trade down to our blue higher time frame target, and it literally hit our target to the pip. I think I closed it a few pips before. Okay, but I got a risk to reward of about 1 to 1.5, guys. Okay, and I closed, usually I close 80%, but I closed 100% of the trade here. Okay, so US dollar, Canadian dollar, because of that H1 price structure, because it did break the gray zone, yeah, this was a nice trade, guys. So I managed to get in this trade back down to this blue line. Happy trader. Yeah, happy trader. US dollar, Canadian dollar short was a nice trade. And if we look at the day chart today, guys, I am still definitely looking for shorts. Yeah, we'd like to see a retrace and then come back down. Okay, but we shall see. All right, but US dollar, Canadian dollar short was a beautiful trade. Let me just show you the last trade from yesterday, guys, the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, and then we will take a look at some of your questions, guys. So Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. This was one of our trade ideas from Tuesday, from yesterday. So price was in an uptrend. Yeah, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And then price came all the way back down. But this low here held. Okay, so potentially coming back up. All right, so that was the structure. We were still just about with an upward trend, upward structure. Okay, and then if we zoom in, guys, we had another one of those boxes of indecision. I love boxes of indecision because once we get a reaction from the box, it's usually a very good trade. Yeah, you can imagine you've got lots of people, I don't know what to do with myself, and then bang. Yeah, they make a decision, buyers are in control, boom, we're away. And this is what happened with the Canadian yen. Okay, so we had all of this indecision, and then we had this candle, yeah, that broke this candle, yeah, that broke out of this box. Yeah, literally just broke out of the box. So for me, I was looking for longs on this. I couldn't wait to get in on a long with Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. This was a test of patience for myself. All right, but we got in on this pair, okay? And as you can see, price moved up from our gray zone. It hasn't quite hit our higher time frame target yet, but let's look on the H1, guys, to see how we traded this pair. All right, guys, and as you can see, this was the box of indecision. Yeah, just to show you it on the H1. Right, this was the box of H decision, and as you can see, price broke out of it. Okay, now let's zoom in so you can see the price action. So we had our gray zone mapped out, guys. This was the gray zone here, corresponded with these last lows. Okay, we also had this gray zone that we put in because of these last highs. Okay, so we had a couple of gray zones that we could trade from, guys. I got in on this candle here. Okay, so let's get rid of all the other nonsense. Yeah, I got in on this candle here, guys. Okay, so we had a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern, yeah, with a nice wick that really rejected price. This was the last swing low, so I put my stop literally just below that. Okay, price did come down a little bit and retested the low, and then we got this candle as well. All right, so this just told me that we were off to the races. We were off to the upside. Okay, so I got a slight retrace. Okay, I entered around here. Yeah, my stop was here, and my first target, as always, well, usually as always, is the last H1 high. Okay, and at this level, yeah, at this level, I closed 80% of my trade. Okay, happy trader, we've made profit. Yeah, this was textbook, guys. We was talking about this on Discord. This was the trade. Yeah, trade of the day, this one. All right, so yeah, this was my risk. Okay, and then this here was my reward. Okay, so that gave me a little bit under a risk to reward of 1:2. Okay, so I'm still in this trade for 20%, guys. So my stop loss was here at 20%. Okay, so yeah, my stop loss was here, 20% left of the trade. All right, but as I've explained to you guys, I like to trail the stop, but it depends on what price action tells me. Okay, and price action has told me that the H1 is still nicely in an uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, but this is now the last higher low. So what I will do is move this 20% stop loss. I will move it just below these lows. Okay. Okay, so if price does come down, it's pretty much where I entered. It'll be back to break even, but that's not important. The important point is that you're moving your stop according to price action. Okay, so if I move my stop here and then price does this, Okay, I will then move my stop to here. Okay, so this is trailing the remaining 20%. Okay, guys, so yeah, that's what I will do with the remainder of this trade. But US dollar, Canadian dollar short, nice trade. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen long, nice trade. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen was trade of the day. All right, so that was a nice trade, guys. Okay. Okay, so those were all the trades from yesterday. Aussie dollar, US dollar, New Zealand, US dollar, no trades for me. US dollar CAD, good trade. Canadian, Japanese yen, wonderful trade. Questions now, guys. Okay. You're welcome, Tomato Trading Journey. A-Rod, can you do pound Japanese yen? Of course I can. Let's have a quick look at this. So again, guys, let's do a top-down approach with Japanese yen. Just a quick question from Queen Bee. How many pairs should I consider as a beginner? Well, Queen Bee, what I look at 28 currency pairs, but obviously I don't trade all 28 currency pairs at the same time. I would have more gray hair than what I do now. Okay, yeah, that would be far too stressful. So what you can do is analyze all 28 currency pairs, which is what I do every morning as part of the channel. Yeah, so you don't have to. I look at 28 currency pairs, and then I usually narrow it down to, let's say, 1, 2, 3, or 4 pairs. Okay, so as a beginner, you can look at 4 pairs, yeah, and that's enough. But you're only waiting for very good setups. You might only have one good setup. Yeah, so you're looking at one trade technically. So yeah, look at all the pairs, narrow it down to the pairs which you think are the best to trade that day, and then look for the best setups. So guys, as part of the channel, as you know, I do that for you every morning. So if you are new to the channel, then why not get that analysis every morning so you don't have to do it? All right, so yeah, if you do want to do that, guys, subscribe to the channel, come join us. Smash that notification button and also smash the like button, guys. Help support the channel. All right, so yeah, come join us if you want the analysis done for you or to support your own analysis. Right, sorry, A-Rod. GBP, Japanese yen. So let's have a look. The problem with the pound pairs, guys, is they are more volatile than my ex-girlfriend. Okay, that's every time I think of volatility, I think of that. Anyway, so it's just so volatile, the pound, and it's so susceptible to news at the moment. Yeah, I mean, if we just look at the Japanese yen, yeah, news, it could come back down here, who knows? It's just having huge news swings. Yeah, it's the macroeconomic view that's just making this pair, any pound pair, too volatile. Okay, so for me, I have been staying out of all the pound pairs. You'll notice none of my trade ideas are pound pairs for that reason. So if you did want a piece of advice, stay away from the pound at the moment. Okay, but if we were trading this, guys, I mean, look at that. Look at this weekly candle, yeah? And then look at this weekly candle. If you know how to trade that, then you deserve a gold star. Yeah, that is, yeah, untradeable. But let's take a look because you asked me to. So this area here is clearly a weekly zone of resistance. Yeah, we can see that. I would argue we also have this zone coming through here that is important as well. All right, so just looking at this, it wouldn't surprise me if this pair ranged, just ranged. Okay, wouldn't surprise me if price did that. You've got a lot of buying pressure, you've got a lot of selling pressure. Yeah, so price could quite easily just range. Okay, so let's look at the day chart now. That was the weekly. Let's look at the day chart. So first of all, I cannot buy this pair. Yeah, remember, crazy people buy into resistance, and this grey zone is clearly resistance. It probably is going to go a little bit further and test these highs. Yeah, it probably is. Okay, because you've got a very bullish green candle. It's probably going to go a little bit further and test these highs. But I still cannot buy into that resistance. Remember, crazy people do that. I am a little bit crazy, but not totally crazy. So I cannot buy this pair. So therefore, I could start looking. Again, it's not a trade idea. I want to get that clear. I'm staying away from the pound pairs. But if you tied me to a horse and dragged me along the floor for miles, I would eventually say I would short this pair. I would look for price to start breaking down on the H1. All right, so price is clearly in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. What I would like to see, similar with the euro US dollar that I looked at, is a retest of this high. Okay, so then this becomes the last H1 low. I then want to see a break of this low. Okay, then a retest, then I could start taking price lower. Okay, so if you insisted that I traded this pair, that's what I would be looking for. Okay, a change in H1 price structure at this area of resistance. That's how I would trade this, guys, pound Japanese yen. Okay, but if the H1 keeps going up, yeah, I'm not shorting it. Okay. All right, so pound Japanese yen. Queen B, my moving average is the moving average 20. Yeah, moving average 20. And Queen B, I hope you are Beyonce. I hope I have Beyonce on my channel right now. Hello, Beyonce. Nice to meet you. Love your music. Okay, what else we got here? Let's have a look. Japanese yen, okay, do I retest? Morning time, really approach. Okay, thank you. What's his name? Anime, thank you for saying I look dashing in the new camera. I will pay you later. Thank you. Right, let's look at another question. Can you tell me how you close 80% and 20%? Okay, so yeah, let me just explain my 80-20 rule, guys. So where was it? So CADJPY, yeah, this was a trade that I had. Remember from yesterday, this was a successful trade. So when price come down to my gray zone, these gray zones I highlight for you every morning, guys. Okay, so join the channel, subscribe, notification, like. All right, so this gray zone, I entered on this candle. Okay, I put my stop below this last swing low. All right, so I got a slight retrace, I entered here. All right, so this is my risk. Here is my risk. All right, and 9 times out of 10, guys, my first target, always my first target is the last H1 high if I'm buying, or the last H1 low if I'm shorting. But obviously I'm buying this market. Okay, so I want to, this is my first target. Okay, and as you can see, it hits target. I cannot draw straight lines this morning. It's all the vodka. Yeah, so this is my target. So this was my reward. All right, nice risk to reward, about 1:2. I close 80% here. Okay, so let's say I'm in a 100K lot. Yeah, I'm in a 100K lot size trade. All this means at this level, I close 80K. Yeah, at this level, I close 80K. All right, and then I'm still in the trade for 20K, which is 20%. Okay, Not easy to draw with a pen, but I think that is readable, just. Yeah, so I'm closed 80%. I've got a very nice risk to reward. I am a happy trader. Yeah, but I've still got 20% left, or 20K if you want to put it in a money value. All right. I do this because I know my own psychology. Yeah. One of the most important things in trading is knowing yourself. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard it on 1,000 psychology videos, but it's true. Yeah, you need to understand yourself as a trader. And for me, guys, years ago, I struggled to let 100% of the trade run. Yeah, I would make bad decisions. Yeah, because I'm seeing the money go up, I'm seeing it come back down. It would play with my psychology. Okay, so to avoid that problem, I secure 80% profit quite quickly. Yeah, so I entered here. This took 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. I was in this trade for 4 hours and I closed 80%. All right, because I'm not very good at letting 100% run. But what I am good at is letting 20% run. I can let 20% run for 9 years. Okay, 9 years is an exaggeration, but you understand my point. So you'd have to remember I've closed 80% here, but here with my stop loss, I still have 20% open. Okay, and what I would do, guys, is just trail my stop. Yeah, price action come up. We've got this retest here. I will move this stop to here. Okay, price comes down again, does this, I'll move my stop to here. All right, and then I am good at letting my trade run. So that is my 80-20 rule that I use. I hope that helped. We've done euro US dollar. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at gold. We've got a couple of people wanting to look at gold. We've got Eric and Chukuru Blessing. All right, bless you too. Oil and gold. So let's have a look at gold, guys. Okay. So I was looking at this myself today, and also oil. Where's oil? Where's black gold? All right, let's start with gold. Again, weekly chart. Yeah, I was looking at this, but it's a short for me, to be quite honest. So weekly chart is in a downtrend. Yeah, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. All right, in a downtrend. This area here has been super duper important. Yeah, I think you can probably move it up to here. Okay, so I put my grey zone in the weekly chart. Yeah, and you can see it's clearly in a downtrend. If we go to the day chart, price is in that grey zone, and it's also testing this last daily high. Okay, so for me, guys, like with a lot of the trade ideas today, I cannot buy this. I cannot buy firstly into this grey zone, and I cannot buy into these last highs here. Yeah, I cannot buy into that. So I would only, again, if you put a gun to my head and said, Tom, you have to trade this pair, I would only look for shorts. And what I would look for is a breakdown in H1 structure. So this is the H1 chart, guys. The structure is untidy. Yeah, that's not nice structure. But what I would want to see, so price is in an upward structure on the H1 chart. I would want price to find a low, come up, retest this high, okay, and not push on further, because then H1 structure is still intact. I want price to react at this last high, then this becomes the last low. Then I want price to come down, retest this low, and then come back down. So basically what I'm saying is guys, I would only short gold, but I need a breakdown in structure of the H1. Yeah, that's how I would trade this, and I would short it, as I've just shown you. All right, so that's gold. Let me take a quick sip of vodka. That's better. But let's take a look at oil now, guys. So oil. Yeah, tricky one. But again, let's start with the weekly chart. And as you can see, price is hitting into some form of resistance. Yeah, so these last lows here, for me, is an area of potential resistance. Okay, I mean, you could make this grey zone bigger and include these last lows here. Okay, so you could include these last lows, which are important, and then these last lows. Quite a large grey zone, admittedly, but this is the weekly chart. Expect large grey zones. All right, but we can start narrowing it down. So if we go to the day chart, it's a similar story to gold, guys. Yeah, we do have a bullish candle like we did with gold, but it's coming into an area of resistance. All right, we've got this as resistance, these last lows. Okay, and if that is a resistance, we've also got these last highs, which could also form resistance. So I expect price will make it back up to here, this zone, before it comes back down. But again, guys, I cannot buy into resistance. That's what crazy people do. I'm not crazy, not that crazy. So again, guys, it will be a case of seeing what the H1 does. But yeah, so what we could trade, guys, we do have some lows here. So this area here is now acting as a low, and we have this area here as a target. So I would short this pair if we get a break of these lows. Yeah, we get a retest, and then we can take price back down to this area here. If I move that across, yeah, this area here. All right, so that's how I would trade gold and oil, quite similar trades, to be honest, but I'm looking for a breakdown in H1 structure. If we don't get a breakdown in H1 structure, it's still a buy. Yeah, it's still going a bit higher into the resistance. Okay, so yes, do you think crypto market is... The crypto market, full stop, is difficult to trade because it's so volatile. Yeah, any of the cryptocurrencies are just so susceptible to news. Yeah, it just goes crazy. Okay, so we've got a few more questions, guys, but what I am going to do, stop by. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Right, what we're going to do now, we're going to look at today's trade ideas. I will look at some of these questions in a minute, but it's important for my regular viewers that they get their trade ideas. If they don't get their trade ideas, they get upset with me. So I have to deliver the goods. So guys, yeah, we had a good profitable day yesterday with US dollar, Canadian dollar, and CAD yen. So guys, I hope you traded some of those, one or two of those pairs yesterday. Great trades. And now we're going to look at today's trade ideas for Wednesday, the 5th of October. All right, guys. And guys, if you're new to the channel and you want these trade ideas every day, then why not join us at Simply Forex? Yeah, join the channel, subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and also smash the like button, guys. Help support the channel. Merci beaucoup for all you French speakers. Right, trade ideas for today. So, what are they? I've got to remember now. I did my analysis about 2 hours ago. Right, the first one, guys, is this: US dollar against the Canadian dollar. All right, I'm going to move this blue target because this was yesterday's target. Okay, so we're going to remove the blue line, but this This blue line is also a good target. So we're going to keep this. All right. So on the day chart, guys, for me, we've had a break in structure. All right. So price was in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Didn't create a higher high. Remember, guys, when this happens, that is a red flag. Yeah, if price isn't creating higher highs in an uptrend or lower lows on a downtrend, it doesn't matter what time frame, that is a red flag that structure is breaking down. Okay, remember that. And then sure enough, guys, this low, this last low yesterday was broken with this candle here. All right, guys, so for me, we now have a break in structure. Okay, so we're looking for shorts on this pair. Also, my regular reviewers will know it's just left a box. Oh, I cannot draw. Too much vodka. It's just left a box of indecision. This was a box of indecision. Okay, and now this candle has left that box. We like this. We like the look of this. Okay, so for those reasons, remember your day chart is why. Why am I trading this pair? Am I trading it long? Am I trading it short? Or am I staying out? So for the reasons I just showed you, I am shorting this pair. All right. Now we're going to drop down. So let's look at the H4 to start with. We're going to start, plotting our gray zones. This was yesterday's gray zone, but I'm going to remove it just so we can take a fresh look at the market. All right. So on the H4, guys, this zone here was still an area for a gray zone. Yeah, this area here makes sense to me. All right, then we're going to drop down to the H1 chart. Remember, guys, I'm only plotting gray zones where I can take shorts from. Yeah, there is a gray zone up here, guys. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, but if price gets all the way back up to there, I'm not interested. So this gray zone, although it is an area where price reacts, is not one of our gray zones for today. We're not interested in it. But this gray zone we are, because we could potentially short from this area. We go down to the H1, guys. This is where we fine tune our entries. So for me, I would change this gray zone. Okay, what would I change it to? So yeah, for me, guys, we need to include this last H1 low. All right, so this, we could leave it as two separate gray zones. Yeah, no problem. I could make this one big gray zone, either or. So what I want to see, guys, is price, and this could also happen, guys. Yeah, let me put one more gray zone in because price is coming down quite strongly as we speak. Okay, so we've got three potential things that can happen. So do this every morning, guys. Yeah, your day chart gives you your view of the market. Am I longing? Am I buying? Am I staying out? And in the H1 chart, which we're looking at now, this is your how. How am I going to trade this pair today? All right. And this is what my gray zones are for. This tells me how I am going to trade this pair. I know I keep mentioning it, but you need to visualize what you are going to do before it happens. Okay. So we've got three gray zones here, guys. So what could happen? Price could retrace all the way back up to this one. Okay. And test these last highs here. Okay. If it does, great, we can get into the trade. We just want to see a bearish reaction. It could be a bearish candlestick pattern, but just a candle that tells us sellers are in control. We enter the market, and then we can take price back down to our last H1 low, close 80%. Remember the 80-20 rule that I showed you earlier. Close 80% and then leave 20% to run. Okay, if that doesn't happen, price could retest this last H1 low here. Okay, but again, we want to see a bearish reaction, get into the trade, close 80% of these last H1 lows, and then leave 20% to run. Okay, our third and final idea is this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Is this. So price, as you can see, is coming down quite strongly. So what price might do is just come down, break these lows, and then just come back and retest these lows before price comes back down. All right. It depends how much strength this downward movement has. Okay. But this is a very strong possibility as well, because if we go back to the day chart, that is a very bearish candle. It has next to no bottom wick. All right. Called a Marabuza. Okay, so yeah, so that's how we're going to trade it on the H1, guys. So that's the first trade idea for today. US dollar, Canadian dollar, we're looking for shorts. Okay, my second trade idea for today is this. This is the Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. All right, so we are still looking to buy this pair. Okay, so this was a trade idea from yesterday, but let me remove these gray zones from yesterday because today is a new day. New day, new opportunities, more profit in the markets. So if you remember from yesterday, guys, we were looking to buy this pair. Price is in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. I argue these lows have just held. All right, and remember we had this box of indecision. Okay, we had a box of indecision followed by a candle which broke this box. Okay, so that's why we were shorting it. That's why we were buying it yesterday. All right, but now price has continued. Yeah, we've had this bullish candle that broke this box, and we had followed by another bullish candle. So for me, we can still got room to take price back up to this blue line here and this psychological level of 10700. All right, guys. So my target is this because of these last highs here. Okay, it makes sense. Price has reacted there before. All right, so CAD yen, we're looking to buy this pair. Let's now drop down to the H1 chart to see where we can get in. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, guys, is this. I'm going to include both of these lows. All right, so this is our first gray zone. Again, this could happen. Yeah, because price is storming up as we speak already. Yeah. So we've got a couple of options here, guys. Okay. So in an ideal world, guys, price will come back down into this gray zone because then it gives us more room to move into this trade. All right. If it does, great. It could correspond with this low or even these lows. Yeah. But what we want to see is a bullish reaction in this gray zone. Excuse me. We can then enter the trade. We can take price first of all back up to the last H1 high, close 80%, okay, and then leave 20% to run up to our higher time frame target. Okay. If that doesn't happen, guys, then we could trade this, but there's just not much room to move into. We could trade a break of this gray zone, retest, and then back up. But that really depends on how much room you move into. Yeah, you have to have enough room to move into to make your risk to reward worthwhile. So that will be a call to make as price action happens. But Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, we're looking to long this pair. So they're the two trade ideas. We have got one more thing that I'm looking at, guys, and it's Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin against the US dollar. as you can see, guys, the most important area for Bitcoin at the moment is this gray zone here. Yeah. And if this gray zone doesn't hold for Bitcoin, I worry for Bitcoin, because if it doesn't hold, look, if we zoom out, yeah, we have nothing but fresh air, nothing but fresh air down to about this level. Yeah, so if that level does break, I fear for Bitcoin. Okay, so let's assume Bitcoin is holding at this zone. So what I've seen, guys, is price keeps pushing away from this zone. Yeah, we've got it over here. Price pushes away here, 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 and we've also had it yesterday. So price keeps wanting to push away from this gray zone. All right, let me zoom in. Sorry, guys, I keep showing you my taskbar, I believe it's called. And then yesterday we had this. This is a daily candle, okay, pushing up from this gray zone. So potentially, guys, we could come up to this blue line or even this blue line, okay, which corresponds with these last highs here. Okay, so on the day chart, I'm thinking we can buy this market. Then I go down to the lower, then I go down to H1. I might look at H4 if H1 is difficult to read. But what I'm seeing here, guys, is this area here. This last high all the way down to this last low. Okay, guys, so this area here makes perfect sense to me for an entry. So let's just zoom out a little bit. Okay, we do have this as well. So we have to worry about this happening. Okay. So guys, this was our large grey zone, but this is not an entry that we're interested in today. So I can remove this. But on the H1, we're interested in this. To be honest with you guys, I need a break of that. I'm even going to remove this grey zone. What I need to see is a break of this last high. Yeah. Okay. On Bitcoin, I need to see, zoom out. I need to see, oh God. If I zoom in, I don't have enough room. If I zoom out, I have too much. Anyway, I need to see a break of this grey zone, a retest, and then we can start pushing price higher. But if price doesn't break this grey zone, it could quite easily come back down. So guys, yeah, Bitcoin, break of these last highs, retest back up. All right, guys. So yeah, I just wanted to show you them. They're our free trade ideas for today. US dollar, Canadian dollar short, Canadian dollar, Japanese yen long, and Bitcoin is also a potential long trade. Right, let's look at a few more questions now, guys. Abraham, I wouldn't day trade cryptos or stocks. I do day trade cryptos now and again, but stocks, no. Stocks for me are sort of, I do have stocks, but I just buy them and hold them for the long term. I have stocks that are paying a high dividend, a good high dividend FTSE 100 stock. That's typically what I buy. Yeah, very risk adverse. Just hold on to them. That's how I trade stocks. All right. Yeah, Nuno, you know, news for me is noise. So Nuno was saying 14th of October, GBP can move a lot. On the central bank will stop buying pound. I don't know what will happen. I understand you need to have a macroeconomic view of a market. I get that. But a lot of this news is just noise. Yeah. I've got my trade ideas for today. I'm going to trade them. I will be aware of what news is coming out, of course. But a lot of this news is just distracting news. Yeah, you've only got to look at the pound. Yeah, if you look at the pound, yeah, news is telling you, news is saying sell, 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 news, sell, sell, and then bang, buy, buy, buy. That's what news does. News can give massive whipsaws to the market. For me, it's just noise. If you're shorting here, great. Yeah, news helps your short. Okay. If you're buying here, great. News has helped your buy. Okay. But before the day starts, I already have a clear understanding of what I'm going to trade. The news releases throughout the day are different. Yeah, if you've got GDP, CPI, PPI, whatever data is being released, I am aware of that because that can have a real sudden impact. But you know, what Liz Truss is doing with the Conservative government is just noise, absolute noise. Don't listen to it. Yes, so I showed you the 80-20 rule earlier, Jay. Yeah, I closed 80% at the last H1 high and then just let 20% run. Okay, all right, guys, let's take a look at the DXY, so the dollar index, just to give you an idea of what's happening here. All right, so let's move this down. So the dollar index, guys. Again, this has never been so high. Yeah, look, it's at all-time highs, guys. But we can see prices having a bit of a reaction here. So yeah, this is the weekly chart, guys. All right, we've got higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. All right, so the US dollar is clearly in an uptrend on the weekly chart. All right. Clear to see. However, we are getting some quite negative candles as we speak. All right. So that is in an uptrend. If we go to the day chart now, you can see price is clearly coming to a point of potential support. Yeah. So these last so these last daily highs here. Yeah, price is coming down. So this could potentially be support for a move back upwards. Okay. But again, I'm not going to buy this candle. Yeah, that is too negative. Such a bearish candle. So what we'll just need to do, guys, is wait. Let's see how price reacts at this grey zone. This could be a potential very important zone for the dollar. Yeah. If we get a bullish reaction, price could will almost definitely come back and hit these highs. Okay, but if price breaks down this grey zone, retests, then potentially we have some room to the downside. So this area here from these last highs, I would say is a real pivotal moment for the dollar. So let's see over the next coming days, even weeks, what dollar does at this grey zone. All right, it'll be interesting to see, guys. But yeah, if you started buying this grey zone, yeah, I would not call you an idiot. That would make sense. Yeah. Okay, but for me, I need to see a daily candle, a daily bullish candle for me to start buying this. All right, guys. So just do a couple more questions and we'll take a look at the news, guys. Just before I do, guys, if you're enjoying this analysis, you're enjoying the live stream, then why not come join us at Simply Forex? Yeah, subscribe to the channel, guys, smash the notification button and also smash that like button. All right, that'd be greatly appreciated. We also have a Discord channel in the link in the comments. There's a link in the comments below the vid. So join our Discord channel. We've got loads of knowledgeable traders in there sharing ideas. Yeah, it's a great community. And also, guys, if you are interested in being mentored by myself, we're offering a mentorship program. If you are, then email us at hellosimplyforex@gmail.com. Right. Yes, I agree, Tony. News scares you out of good positions. I agree. Do you ever swing trade? So, you don't use any indicators? Abraham, no. Yeah, I don't use any indicators. All I use is the moving average 20 as just a visual aid, really. Yeah, it's also the mean of a Bollinger Band. Yeah, so It can sometimes be, if we just look at this chart, sometimes it can be dynamic resistance, yeah, here, and price reacts. Sometimes it can be dynamic support and price reacts. So I'm aware of where the moving average 20 is, and I do use it for that reason, but it's more of a visual enhancement for me. Do you ever swing trade? So I've been asked this question before, Abraham, and I am an intraday swing trader. That makes sense. So for example, guys, yeah, if we go back to my Canadian dollar, Japanese yen example, okay, so I was in this trade, yeah. So let's zoom in a bit. So I entered this trade here, yeah. This is the H1 chart, and I closed 80% here. Yeah, that's how I trade. All right, entered here, my stop was here, entered here. All right, I've made nice profit. Close 80%. So 80% of me is an intraday trader. I was in that trade for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. Yeah, I was in that trade for 4 hours. That, by every definition, is an intraday trader. Yeah, I'm in a position for a few hours. It's not scalping. Scalping, you can be in a trade for a few minutes. Okay, but it's intraday trading. So 80% is an intraday trade. But my remaining 20% that I still have, that is a swing trade. I'm taking a higher time frame view on this. So I will just trail my 20%. I'll move it below here. Price action happens again. I'll move it here and just trail my stop. So 20%, if we go back to the day chart, I could potentially, I know I have my target and I will probably close it here, but I could let's say it goes crazy and price comes up to here. I could keep trailing that 20%, just keep trailing it. Okay, so 80% intraday trader, 20% swing trader. All right, so I hope that answers that question. All right, guys, we're going to do, if you look at we've looked at New Zealand, US dollar, Aussie dollar, Japanese yen for Brett Moses. All right, Brett Moses, we will look at Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. Excuse me, where's the chart? Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. Yeah, so this has been a tricky one, guys. All right, so let's start with the weekly chart. And the weekly chart is clearly in an uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Clearly in an upward structure. You don't have to be Warren Buffett to know that. And then the important zone for us is this. Yeah, you can see the price has reacted at this area of support. Let me have some vodka. Okay, so yeah, this reacted here and reacted here, and it's now reacting again. Okay, but the problem with this trade is we also have this area, these last H1, these last highs here, because remember, guys, this could potentially be a head and shoulders pattern. Yeah, shoulder, head, shoulder, and then back down. Those of you who don't know what a head and shoulders pattern is, I see them in my sleep. So this is a shoulder, this is the head. I draw very slowly because it's not easy with a mouse. Yeah, so this is a potential head and shoulders pattern. Potential. Yeah, we've got to see it set up. So that's what I'm seeing on the weekly chart. So on the daily chart, price is caught between these two zones. Yeah, I know I've mentioned it a few times here, but this is also a box of indecision. Yeah, we're like, buyers are in control. No, they're not. Buyers are in control. No, they're not. All right. So I need to see a break out of this box. If we break to the upside, then potentially we could come to the top of this grey box And if we break to the downside, potentially we have room to the downside. But I need price to leave this box, and it just hasn't. Okay, if we look on the H1 chart, yeah, it threatened to start breaking this box. Yeah, so we did have this yesterday. So this was our box of indecision, and price did jump out of this box, but then it closed back down. It jumped up again, but then it's closed back into this box. All right, so until we get a clear break of this box, we can come up, all right, or a clear breakdown of this box. But for me, guys, it's a trade that we just have to stay out of. It doesn't know what it's doing till it breaks this box. Okay, I hope that answers your question on Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, you'll find, yeah, okay, yeah. So for Pele, if you watch the video back, we did New Zealand US dollar analysis. So yeah, check that out. All right, guys, I think it's time for the news now. Let's take a quick look at the news. All right, I have to go to a different screen for this. Bear with me. All the technology. Okay, guys. So, okay, can you see my screen? So yeah, news for October 5th, which is a Wednesday. So overnight, guys, yeah, we had this important news. Yeah, we had the interest rate decision come out of New Zealand, and this was as expected. All right, so we saw a bit of a reaction in New Zealand US dollar earlier, and I will show you this reaction in a minute. Okay, if we carry on down, this is also important. We've got a non-monetary policy meeting coming out of the euro. Some information could come out of that and move the currency pairs. After that, guys, the next piece of important news that we're looking at today is this. At 1:30 London GMT, coming out of Canada, we've got the trade balance. Okay, so that can really move any Canadian dollar pair. And then if we carry on down, guys, the next piece of important news coming out of 3 o'clock London GMT, coming out of the States, we've got non-manufacturing PMI. So again, this could really move any US dollar pair. And then after that, guys, as you can see, no other news that we're interested in. Okay, so what I am going to do is just show you New Zealand US dollar, because I know some of you wanted to see. I'm just going to show you what happened this morning. So the problem you have with New Zealand dollar, guys, is this. All right, if we look on the day chart, I keep showing you these boxes of indecision, but this is a box of indecision. Okay, yeah, until it breaks out of this box to the upside or to the downside, it's difficult to trade. Yeah, we've got buyers in control, sellers, buyers. Yeah, price doesn't know what to do with itself. So this gray zone here is the important gray zone. I'm going to move it up a little bit to include that. So if we go down to the lower time frames now, let's look at the H4. This gray zone, yeah, this is the box of indecision that you're seeing on the day chart. Okay, and this gray zone is still holding. Yeah, the interest rate decision earlier moved it out of the box, but then it quickly come back in, as you can see with this H4 candle. So until we get a sustained break of this gray zone, then a retest, then we can start looking for longs. But this gray zone is the all-important zone for this pair. All right. On the H1, guys, yeah, it did have a break. Yeah, this candle technically broke the gray zone. Yeah, it closed here, closed above. But as you saw on the H4 candle, it quickly closed back into this gray zone. So you really need to trade this pair according to what happens at this gray zone. All right, guys. So yeah, that's New Zealand US dollar. Yes, I do consider wicks. Wicks are very important. Look at this wick. Yeah, I would not be buying on that break. Yeah, this H1 candle broke. I would never, ever, ever, ever buy that candle. Look at the wick on it. Okay, so yeah, it's just untradeable this wick. Do the wicks? So I do. Yeah, wicks are very important. All right, but so guys, what I'd like to say is just thank you everyone for your time this morning. We're going to start. We're going to stop the live stream now. Thank you for all your questions, guys. Some great questions there. Really appreciate the questions. I hope we managed to answer all of them for you, and you go away with a little bit more knowledge than you did yesterday. That's the goal of Simply Forex. And if you want to join Simply Forex, guys, then please subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and also smash that like button, guys, okay? And leave as many comments as you like. If you've got any questions, we're always happy to answer. All right, guys. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow.